Hi students, I must confess that customer value proposition is perhaps my favorite module or my favorite concept actually. Module is just a word for this course, but customer value proposition is perhaps something, if you wake me up in the middle of the night also I'll do a class for you. So this particular lesson within customer value proposition or CVP as it's often called is how is it that we will go and build a CVP, how is it that we will identify a customer, how is it that we will find what is of value to them, and how is it that we will put it together as a proposition. So, this is a how to module, this is not a theory module, this is a how will we go about doing this. To start with, I will have to reiterate that value propositions target a well defined customer segment. I will first read all three and then we will double click or go into details about each of them. That they target a well defined customer segment, they explain or describe why a customer would buy or should buy the product that is being offered. The class is always from the founder's point of view, from the startup's point of view, from the entrepreneur's point of view. So, the customer value proposition targets a well defined customer segment. It describes, it details, it explains why a customer should buy the product, and it demonstrates, the most important, it demonstrates superiority to a competitor product. So, going back to the targeting a segment, we cannot target everybody in the world. We also cannot target everybody in India, that is a very, very large market. And it is not because it is a large market and it costs a lot of money, it is that most markets are not similar. So, every customer does not behave in the same way, and so we need to segment customers, and the moment we segment, when we say segment, we are clustering them. We are saying this cluster is different from this cluster, is different from a third cluster, and we are saying yes to a cluster and saying no to the other clusters. It seems like a very counterintuitive thing to do. It sounds like a हम क्यों ना बोल रहे हैं? Why are we saying no to one segment and two segment and three segment and saying that we will only catch this niche segment which is 5% of customers in the market, या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा we will take the 20% of customers in the market, and the answer is like this. You cannot not you, me, anybody, everybody, we cannot serve everyone with the same offering, because human beings are not like that, and as markets develop and as customers evolve, we get more and more different from each other. We get more and more different. So, we align with some types of people, we do not align with other types of people, and I am not even going into the politics and the social part of it. I am simply talking about aligning or getting together from a purchase of products point of view, from being a customer, not from being a citizen, a social citizen point of view, simply from as a customer, I behave in a particular way, you behave in a particular way. As an entrepreneur, the best you and I can get is get 20% of the market that will like us and will find us relevant to them, which means that they will want to buy our product because we are relevant to them. And the next line, which is not only are we relevant to them, we add value in their world, but we add value better than our competitors. So, the two words that marketing uses all the time is called relevance and differentiation. Relevance means being useful, being relevant, being useful, being worthy, being valuable. All of that or any of those words mean that I contribute or my product contributes something in your life or your product contributes something in my life. That is what gets you relevance. It is only an entry, it opens a door, gets you entry, does not get you conversion, does not get you money, we have not got there yet. only when you are able to open a door and you are able to get the customer to believe that the product or service that you are offering is better than alternatives, is better than competitive products, that is when you get bought. So, the second word is differentiation, and there are two words often used. One is differentiation, the other can be superiority, which means that your product is superior to another product in the market. Personally, I prefer differentiation over superiority, and I will give you an example and it will come to immediately, it will make sense to you. So, I do not remember when you first got your mobile phone, but I do not know how many megapixels, mine was some 3 megapixels or 2 megapixels, and today I think megapixels, I do not even know how many megapixels my phone cameras have, because it has become irrelevant. Adding one more megapixel is not going to make a difference in my life. So, that parameter is no longer relevant in customer world. People are now going into 3 cameras in the back and 1 camera in the front, or am I saying it the other way around, I do not know, but selfie camera 1, other side camera 3, even if I shake my hand the picture will come out well. Not only will it shoot one picture, it will shoot 10 together and pick the best and give me AI into sorting pictures. That is what is differentiation. We are no longer building superiority on a commonplace parameter called megapixel, which is what the world used to do. Okay? So, 3 things repeated again: who is your target customer, define them, target them, well defined, that is the most important. Yeah? And demographic, psychographic, geography, other ways to define a customer. The second is explain why you should buy me. In simple words, why buy me? That is the second. And the third part of value proposition is putting into context how our product or our service or our offering is superior or differentiated to competitor offering. And without further ado, I am going to show you an example on the next slide. So, I have not put a brand on it, but I do not need to put a brand. I am reasonably sure all of you will be able to guess what this is. So, this first question it answers is, what is it? What is the product? What is the service? It is the world's largest search engine. That is what it defines itself as. It is the world's smartphone. It is the world's hospitality service. So, what are you? You have to frame yourself in a category so that people understand what that category is. You cannot frame yourself in a category which is so irrelevant to a customer. So, hospitality, hotels, food products, beverages, mobile phones, smartphones, feature phones, all these are categories that consumers relate to. So, this is a search engine. This calls itself a search engine, and we all understand what search engines are. The customers who want to, or most customers use them, understand what search engines are. Who is it for? It is for all internet users. Now, this is a brand that is so omnipresent that it can perhaps say it is for all internet users. You and I do not have that luxury. We have to target sharper, we have to target narrower. And the most important thing, why is it valuable? The word valuable can come from either being superior or being differentiated. In this case, it is focusing on differentiated. It says that the relevant information is found quickly and easily. I am not going to give a name to this brand, pretty much know who we are talking about. I do not even know if this is written by the brand itself. Yeah? But what this says is, we are the world's largest search engine, and we are for all internet users, and we are valuable because we make the relevant information quickly and easily. And trust me, when you have to write for brands that are well known in the marketplace, you will be able to do it easily. They need not be well known, they could be brands that are relevant to you, and then you will find that it is so easy to write these 3 lines. Kya sawal hai? Ask 3 questions. What is it? Mobile phone. What is it? Laptop. What is it? An umbrella, whatever. And the who is it is the tougher one, and why is it valuable is the toughest one. because the moment you write who is it and you say it is for everyone, you have failed that test, because everyone we cannot create for. So, who are we targeting? Who is it for? Who are we targeting? Who are the customers for whom our product will be the most important, most relevant, most valuable, most worthy? That is what defines a well defined target segment. And then to answer why is it valuable, why is it better, why is it superior, why is it differentiated. That is what you need to do as you build your idea, that you have to answer who is it for, what is it, who is it for, and why is it valuable. There are these dimensions, and there are 5 at least that I can speak to you about, and we will go through them one at a time. The first is product, and if you are differentiated and if you are superior on product, the rest of it is easy. They say that no amount of advertising can sell a bad product, but advertising can hype up not so great product. I mean, if it is an irrelevant product, nothing can help it. But the first thing that all of you as aspiring entrepreneurs should attempt to do is build in superiority, value, differentiation in your product itself. Again, there are some words written under that line which says performance. Performance means 52 megapixel over 48 megapixel is performance. Faster, which is RAM speed, that is a performance variable. Washes clothes better, it is performance, but how do I quantify it? And maybe there are ways of quantifying it. So, washes whitest, removes stains the best, those are performance variables. And features are a function of what deliver the performance. There must be something that makes things wash clothes whitest. There must be some ingredient which makes stain removal the best. So, those are features which lead to a performance. I will not talk to you about brand at this point of time. Take it for now that brand is actually the combination of all of these things coming together. So, in a product, it is a very rational decision. Product answers the question, why buy me? Buy me because I am better on A and B versus everybody else, and you value A and B more than other parameters that are available. So, like I said, and going back to my gaming phone, buy me because on gaming I am the best phone. I may not be the best camera, but that is not so important to you. But I will not say the second part. I usually will just stop with saying the first part, which is buy me because for gaming, whatever are the attributes for gaming, I am sure there is a speed dimension, there is a loading dimension, and so on. So, for people who want to game on their phones, the features on our phone provide the best performance for gaming. So, that is the product. I explained that product and price are very interconnected. You cannot do a top end product and charge a low price for it. I mean, if they were selling let us say a Mercedes at the price of a bicycle, we would not believe it. We would not believe it. So, price and product are very intrinsically connected. What is expected from customers on price is that it is fair, it is transparent, it is consistent. It is not that you sold it to me for one price and somebody else. So, there are multiple products in the market at multiple prices. I will buy what works for me, you will buy what works for you, and therefore, price is the expectation on price is consistency, is fairness, is being reasonable or value for money. Value for money, by the way, does not mean being the cheapest brand. It means giving me the most at the least price. That is what value for money means. So, product and price are interlinked, and those are the first two that typically anybody works on when they are developing a new idea into a product or a service. Access. I'll give you any number of examples of FMCG products. We buy brand A because that is what we get where we want to go. The other one I may want, but it is not available at this point of time, and this is true of brands that you know of. You would be traveling to a mountain, to a hillside, to a beach, and find that only some brands are available and other brands are not, and that's because they have done very well on availability and others have not managed to do as well as availability. So, there are some brands that focus on accessibility or availability. Some brands focus on service, and many hospitality brands are built on this, which is many e-commerce brands are built on service. So, e-commerce brands, the e-commerce platform itself tells you that A, we will deliver to you the fastest, B, if you do not like it, we will take it back, and we will take it back in whatever, not whatever condition, but you will not lose money because of it, you will not be billed for the additional transaction. So, those are service. Many consumer durables actually make us unhappy about the service. So, we buy something and we go for a service. The buying experience is wonderful, the product experience is wonderful, sometimes the service experience lets you down, and therefore, when you are buying the product category the next time, you may look for a completely new brand. So, service is a key dimension also. Experience is often used in the context of digital products. So, the technology world uses UI UX, which is user interface, user experience, but I call it one click ordering. So, if there is an app that I use and I can order in 2 clicks and the other one takes me 7 clicks, I will go with the 2 click one. And the reason it becomes 2 click is because I have given it so much of my information by buying multiple times or using the app multiple times. So, it knows my preferences, right. So, for me that user experience is far better than trying to answer 6 questions and then at the 7th I get to pay or whatever is the checkout last part of the process. So, and all of these are designed for, nothing is apne aap se hota hai, no. That in the entrepreneur world you will learn everything has to be designed for, everything has to be created for. Best if you can co-create, if you can co-create with your customer, nothing like it. So, you have to design your product to be superior, to be differentiated, you have to price it such that it delivers value to the customer, you have to make it easily available, accessible when the customer wants to find it, and after sales service or service is very important in some categories, less so in other categories. You should watch for the ones where it is important and the experience. So, there are these 2 words which are called first moment of truth and the second moment of truth. The first moment of truth is when you first see the product. It could happen on television on an ad, but more often than not it happens in a store, it happens in a shop. We are walking and we say, oh, this is new, I have not seen it before, it looks attractive to me, looks interesting to me. That is the first moment of truth. So, we end up buying. I mean, we do not think too hard about buying a 40 rupee, 50 rupee kind of product, right, or even it can be even less. So, that is the first moment of truth. We take it home and we try the product. We could try it by eating it, we could try it by washing our hair with it, and that is called the second moment of truth, which is when the rubber hits the road, when the customer and the product, when the customer engages with the product for the first time. So, you have to design all of these experiences. So, how does the experience of opening the cap feel? Do you have to struggle with the packaging? How easy it is to open some of the packaging that comes, how tough it is to open some of the rest. So, that is the second moment of truth and the first moment of truth. And most importantly, this value proposition that you are creating for the product that you are building has to be created for, and if you can co-create it with your customers, nothing like it. So, these are some dimensions on which you need to work at when you are building your product. This is an example from a tech product. Typically in a tech product, I have seen on let us say a e-commerce site, it will say megapixel and it will say size of the screen and it will say 16 MB RAM or whatever, 16 GB RAM and so many GB data or whatever, and you are like, but you do not buy products like that. You do not buy them because of features which are SIS are written, and that is where I will come to and I will explain brand to you, and we will do that in another module which is called marketing and go to market. But this is an example of how it goes from a core benefit and adds delivery, after sales service, installation. Oh my God, everybody today says DIY products, which means do it yourself products. You buy something and you get one, whatever that key is called, that screwdriver or Allen key, and you put it together. I will personally, I will never buy a product which says do it yourself and build your own. No, that's not the reason I'm buying you. I'm buying you so that you can come and do this for me. So the delivery, the installation, in fact, there are some services for senior citizens where not only is it delivery, the part of the service is to help people transfer their phone numbers from old phone to new phone, do literally a tutorial with the senior citizen explaining to them how to use their new phone. So all of this is part of value proposition, not just the phone that you designed. The phone that you designed for a senior citizen probably has big font, all of that, and easy to use keys and so on and so forth. But the service that they want is come and hold my hand, tell me how to use my phone better, transfer my WhatsApp messages from my old phone to my new phone, transfer my contacts from my old phone to my new phone. All of that is part of building your customer value proposition. So how do we create a customer value proposition? It sits at the intersection of three things. One is what is the customers want, which is the top circle in my little Venn diagram here. What is it that customers want? What is it that competitors do not provide? So that is very important. There are some things competitors do not provide, and it is not features. They are more often benefits, not features, or they are even higher order than benefits. And you are able, you as a company, you as a startup are able to provide that. So what is it that customers want? What is it that you can provide? And what is it that competitors do not provide? And what is it that you can provide? So the intersection of these three is the sweet spot, which is where you are unique. You are relevant because customers want that, right? You are also differentiated because your competitors do not offer that. So to go back to our three questions, what is it? Is it something that customers want? Who are the customers that you have defined for it? And why is it valuable? It's valuable because it is both relevant to the customer and differentiated or superior from the competitor. So this is how you'll actually sit and write features and say which is the ones that you want to pick from. So this is another way of creating our value proposition. So I'll start from the right hand side, which talks about the pains, and I'll take my transportation example because I already did that I think in the last lesson. So my pains when I wanted to go from place A to place B in a metro city in India was that there was no public transport in the city I lived in. I didn't like to drive a car. So those two options went out for me. So I had access to three-wheelers and I never found a three-wheeler wanting to go to whichever place I wanted to go to. I had reached a stage where I'd go to the the auto stand next to my house and say, wherever you want to go, I'll go with you, and then I will take another auto. I had reached that kind of level. Those were the pains for me as a customer. So here is the app taxi service which said, we will give you a car or an auto available on call. All you have to do is use an app. So I had a big pain and this was a pain reliever. What is a gain? A gain is something which is not a problem, but it would be nice to have. It would be nice to have. So if I stay with the app taxi, the ability to go intercity, the ability to choose a taxi at a premium taxi versus a regular taxi versus an auto, all these are gains. When I originally started, my pain was I was not able to get from A to B without getting pained or irritated. They first took that away. Then they started addressing things that would be bonuses. So bonuses are gains and they are gain creators. So again, sit down and write what is the problem you want to solve. I want to solve the problem of senior citizen loneliness in big metro cities in India. Just a problem that I want to solve. I mean, you can have whatever is the problem you want to solve. And what are the pains? The pains are, and I'm not solving the health need. I'm saying the loneliness. So I've said that I am not fit enough to go out on my own. All my friends or my relatives do not live in my immediate neighborhood, so it is very difficult to meet them often. I would like to, so those are the pains. What are the pain relievers? Come to a central place which is run by a whatever small company, a good Samaritans and jolly aunties who want to be nice and have the time, or jolly uncles who are nice and have the time, and you come, you spend half the day, play cards, do some gardening, play bridge, play carom, just talk to people, listen to music, listen to bhajans, whatever. And the gains here can be, we will give you your medical stuff also. So we will give you a doctor on call or a doctor visiting every week, so that you don't have to bother your children to go to the doctor for some small things here and there. I could flip it by saying that the reason is health and the social part is the gain. But I started with a problem statement saying senior citizens in metro cities are lonely. That was my problem statement. Okay? So this is how one can create a value proposition. Two methods I have shown you, which is by writing the intersection or the sweet spot, where what is it that customers want, what is it that we can provide, and what is it that competitors can't provide. And the other is starting from the customer pains and answering the pains, and then thinking of the bonuses that customers would like in this category or space that we are talking about. Here is a reference. I have already done this. This is the same transportation reference. As you can see, the gains include tracking, one click order or cancel, trusted driver, a driver rating, no time needed to pay cash. All these are gains. The pains were bad drivers, etc., and so on, right? And what therefore, summarizing again, it's a bundle of products and services. It targets a well-defined customer segment. It describes why a customer should buy, and it describes why a customer should buy instead of a competing product. And summary, value propositions can be quantitative, more efficient, saves 10% energy, cheaper, 15% cheaper than competition, megapixel. All these are quantitative, but more and more value propositions are becoming qualitative. I buy this product because of its design. I buy this brand because this brand is meant for people like me. Those are qualitative, and we'll cover that a little later when we get to marketing. But summary here is you need to create your value propositions. It is not left to chance, it is not left to apne aap se ho jayega. It combines product, price, availability, service, customer experience. You can find under that multiple things that you might want. You can define your value propositions to be quantitative, which can be on efficiency and time saving and cost saving and so on. And you can also create them for qualitative ones like satisfaction, relevance, the brand that stands for the same things that I stand for, design. I think customer experience is actually a qualitative one and not a quantitative one, but the value propositions are how you will build your product. I am going to explain an example in the next lesson, and then I am going to take you all through something called customer discovery, but the output of customer value proposition feeds into product design, which is the new product development. Thank you.